Yeah, sure. Hi, Monica. My name is Amit Kumar, and I have around 5 years of experience Java backend developer. Currently, I'm working in Accenture for the Wells Fargo client, and I primarily work in banking and capital market domains, building a scalable and event-driven microservices. My core expertise includes Java, Spring Boot microservices, Apache Kafka, and REST API, and also a WebSocket for real-time updates. And I have hands-on experience in designing and developing microservices-based architecture with asynchronous communication and event streaming. And in my current project, that is a one-night web application, so where I'm working on deal or order management systems integrated. We have also integrated two components like IssueNet and direct books. And my work involves Kafka event streaming, real-time updates via WebSocket, and ensuring data consistency across multiple services. I also hands-on on like synchronous messaging, retries, and acknowledgement patterns. And I have also worked on a performance optimization, code refactoring, and reduce cyclomatic complexity, and improve application observability using Splunk and Elastic APM. And on the deployment side, we are using a CI harness and Docker Kubernetes for the CI/CD pipelines. Yeah, that's all about myself. You are not audible.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was on mute. So I can see your profile. Your as you mentioned, you have optimized API latency from 900 meter to 90 meter
Yeah. So
using Redis caching. So
yes.
what is can you please explain in detail what does it mean and like how you overcome overcome this challenge and what kind of challenges you are facing while reducing the improving this performance.
So to improve the performance, we have faced there are various challenges. So first of all, I talk about while fetching the investor details in our query services, there is one separate microservices. So that is only read data. So where we are just only getting the investor details and all, so audit page and all. So while fetching that investor details, we have we haven't implemented the Redis earlier. So at the time there will be latency is high. So we implemented the Redis with with TTL. So there will be a latency will be reduced in that case. Yep. So basically,
How you improve the Redis caching? Means cloud you are using and have you integrated cloud like AWS or Azure?
uh, AWS or Azure. Redis we have implemented where we have created one configuration class and then we implemented. Yeah.
Okay. So you have an integrated. Okay. It is not distributed Redis
No,
caching.
it is not. Yeah, it is a yeah. It's a Redis we are using.
Okay. And so you have working on Kafka also,
Yes.
and you have improved the memory leakage issues.
Yes.
So how you have improved the memory leakage issues, and what kind of like how you identified these issues and how you rectified these issues? Can you please explain in detail?
So in our application, so every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we have a load testing, right? In that scenario, when we are creating the bulk of orders at the time, so like thousands of order we are creating, order matching from happening and all. So there we have seen like in the Splunk we have seen out of memory exceptions. So we absorb that exception. So memory related where application were consuming high heap memory and sometimes causing increasing garbage collected activity and slower processing during a peak events loads. At the time we identify that, so I first analyzed the using the JVM monitoring tools where we have also used the Elastic APM, and that is the application logs. For that application log for the we are using the Splunk tools, and heap analysis tools we are using the Visual VM. We observed that memory usage was continuously increasing because some objects were not getting released properly. So like we have static collections and large Kafka payload being written in memory for the longer durations. And also like there is a improper handling for the collection like has map list, and which kept growing, which garbage collection was not able to automatically clean up. and also we have like if any, we will check that if any data source is not closed and all. So we have to check like any kind of things we need to find that, and we need to process it at, and we identify and we fix it like that. No, your voice is not coming.
I was on mute.
Yeah.
So, in memory leakage issues, um, have you worked on core Java Core 8? So, how the garbage collector works internally in core Java?
So as we know that there is a default garbage collector G1 GC, okay, and where heap size is increasing, then there is a in heap area there is a young generation and old generation. So in young generation we have a hidden space and survivor space. So survivor S0 S1. So when heap when young generation is increasing, then that will be shifted to that hidden space, and then survivor space. If anything go like if that is a full like hidden space or young generation is full, then G1 minor GC will be remove that object. If old generation full, then like major GC will remove that object. So like we have a like object when we are creating the object, okay, at the time there will be the object is first created inside the hidden space, okay, and so that's the things it is uses. And there is a meta space also. Previously it was a meta space, now previously the pump gen in Java 8, that now it is a meta space in that section. So
Okay, so what is the difference between meta space and garbage collector?
meta space and garbage collector, it's
Yes.
okay. Meta space, that means meta space and garbage collector. Garbage collector which reclaim the object which we have not unused that things, and meta space, that means which allocated I think native memory, not inside the heap. It is.
If you don't know, you can decline it. That it is not top in my head. It's not necessary that you have to answer all the questions.
Okay.
It's okay. Moving further, can you please tell me how the parallel stream work internally?
So we have a stream which is a sequential, and parallel stream is a like parallel. It uses the parallelly taking that. So we have a large like a data set, then we can use the parallel stream. So it is not sequential. It is a parallelly. It uses all the worker threads, and it assigned to that threads for all the tasks for all the worker threads, and then it will work. It will do that process. So basically, it uses the Fox join pool internally, parallel stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between hash map and hash set?
So
Hash table. Sorry. Hash map and hash table.
So hash map and hash table both are used to like store key and value pair. So hash table it's a synchronized, but hash map is not synchronized. That means if you have a thread safety requirement, then we can use the hash table instead of hash map.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you worked on the pattern matching?
Pattern matching, no, I haven't worked on.
Okay. And what do you mean by the functional interface?
Functional interface which has only one abstract method and a number of static method and default methods, and like lambda expression is it is invoking to the functional interface. Basically we have 5 types of functional interface, like predicate, function, supplier, and consumer. These are the functional interface in Java 8. These are the Java 8 features. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you mean by the completable features?
Completable feature is the like if we don't have like if we have requirement as a non-blocking like all the threads will be not blocked at the time, so we use the non-blocking. So in like while we are using the Kafka template where we are using the completable feature is in real time.
Have you worked on the sealed classes?
Sealed classes I haven't worked on.
Okay. Do you know what is sealed classes?
Sealed classes are the newer, newer Java features introduced to restrict inheritance and control which classes can extend or implement a particular classes or interface, like that.
Okay, okay. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you please tell me what is the like how you can identify the like in employee class there is an employee ID, employee name, and employee department and employee salary. You have to find those list of employees, employee list name, belongs to sales department and whose salary is greater than 50,000.
Okay, Java 8 features I need to use, right?
Yes, yes. You have to use the stream
So,
API and just write the query, stream query.
So no need to write the class, right? No need to write the class and all.
No, not required. You have to assume there is an employee list class in which the fields are name, ID, department, and salary. These are the four fields, and your query should return the employee name and.
Yeah.
So according to that, you have to write the string query.
Yeah, just okay. I'm just checking the reference of the object. Okay. Employee stream. Then I'll take the filter. I need to take that. E dot get department. Department which is equal to sales. Okay, and then we can do the based on the salary, right? Salary is greater than 5,000, right?
Yes, salary is greater than 50,000.
50,000. Okay. So where I can filter it out. E dot get salary is greater than 50,000. Then we can do that map function. Instead of map, we can employ object, we can employ name. And then we can collect it. List. And then we can print it in that list of string. We are printing the name, right? Result. Yeah, we can do it. Basically, we have taken the map. We have taken the two filter. I have done the filter based on the department and based on the salary, and then I am using map, which is a one-to-one transformation. So I am using employee. Then I'm getting the like a name for that employee, and I'm just collecting it.
Okay, and suppose if I need to. Okay. Suppose if I need to get the second highest salary.
Yeah, second highest salary, then we can do the reverse and then we can skip one.
Okay, fine. Okay, now moving to next. It is also related to the coding question. I'm just sharing one code snippet. You have to tell me what will be the output for this code. Okay.
Okay.
So here is the code. You can copy this code on your machine and you have to tell me if I execute this code, what output will be displayed on the UI.
Let me copy it. So we have a class, Java class, where we are passing the null. Okay, then we have one. Okay, what will the output for this? Public static, we have, okay, public static point is one main method. Inside main method we have a one m1 methods where we null. Okay, public static void, we are using that string method. There will be called the string method, not object method. It will be called the string method here, like string method invoked.
Why the string method?
Because it will give the preference for the string object, not a parent object. It's like, because null is a kind of like, we are default is a null, right? And so it will just give the preference for the string, not object.
Okay. Okay. I'm just giving you one code program also. So you have to write a program. Just give me a second. Check. So you have to find the program where you have to like check whether the you have to find the extract the distinct vowel using Java. Okay.
Distinct
For that,
vowel.
distinct vowels using Java. For example, here is a string you. Okay. So in this string, you have to identify the distinct vowels like E, O, A. These are the three distinct vowels in the string. So you have to write a program through which you can identify the distinct vowel in the string.
Just a minute, let me write it down. Okay, to find that distinct vowel. Distinct vowel. Okay, so we have a string, right? Suppose we have a string, this one, the string. We can use map or something. Okay, let me just write it down. Okay, first of all, a string s. Let me just write here, string s. Then we have s dot to. We can use s dot to lowercase, s dot to lowercase. Then we can map to object and the character. This is the vowel, right? A, E, I, O, U. This is the vowels which contains CH. We can find the distinct, right? We use the distinct method. Distinct DINCT distinct method, where we can do that map. Inside map we can filter it out a string dot value, and then we can collect collectors to where we are a space, we can remove that. Okay, joining, no joining. we can find it string result. Yeah, that's how we can do that. We've taken the string, and then we are just giving the lower case, and then we are checking the vowels. It contain the this one. Okay.
Can you please run it if you don't mind? Can you please show me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me note it. We have a string, right? A string. Okay, then we can s dot to lowercase. Okay, map to object. Okay, to lowercase. Either char it will be taken. And then map to object. Then see, we will print a e I o u, which contains.
You will only give the AEIOU in the output.
So there is a vowel. Okay.
Okay. String. You have to make it.
I'm just checking that condition.
Okay.
Condition. There is a string, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the things. So here I can pass that C, but I need to convert it. Okay, it's a caret. Then I can find the string dot value of. Inside it we can pass it. String dot value of. Then I can use the distinct. Then map a string value of. Then I'm just collect a string result. I will print that something out like that. Then I print it. Okay, it's returning the false. Okay. It's okay. We have converted that. So output will be okay. So output will be it's a distinct A E right, A E O. Okay. So I am returning the boolean output, right? Here I can do that. String dot value.
No, in booleans you cannot be checking. Like you have, I need a distinct vowels.
If it is not containing, then it will. If vowel is not containing, then it is returned false. And in that case, so I just check that conditions here I use. If it is containing, then it will return true. So here it is not containing, right? So okay, just a minute. value of string. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. I'm just checking one condition, one more condition. Okay, wait a minute. First I need to convert it map to object. Map to object. See. Sorry.
Nothing must be there.
Vector. See. Then I can use the filter. Inside a filter, then I can check that condition. CH A E I O U. Then it will contains a string dot value of ch. Let me print it. Yeah, that's the output, right? We are just expecting.
Yes. Okay. And coming to Spring Boot application, in Spring Boot, how you can apply the validation data?
In Spring Boot, how? So there will be valid annotations. We can use that valid annotation using like if you have email, if you don't want to check that if you check that null, not null. So where we can use that that annotation. In controller we can pass the valid annotation in that parameters, and we can use that. We can check that.
Okay. And how, like in a Spring Boot application, we have if I need to perform the security, Spring security on API level, so how I can integrate security on API level?
We can use the Spring security dependency. So when we use the Spring security dependency, at the time all the URL whatever you have in controller, so that will be by default that will be authenticated, right? And then if you want to customize, like if you have a sign up page, that will, if you want to like that sign up page will be not authenticated for the user, there we can use the permit all method, so that that URL will be not authenticated. So what we do, first of all we add the dependency. So if we add the dependency, then we all the URL will be authenticated. If we want to customize, then we can create the class, and we can use the enable web security annotations, and then there we can use the HTTP methods. With the help of HTTP we can use the request measure. In the request measure parameter we can pass the whatever endpoints you want to authenticate. There we can use that like URL, and then there will be authenticated method will be there. So authenticated method will be authenticate that particular URL. So and we have also one permit all method. If you don't want to secure, then there we can use the permit all methods.
Okay. And coming to in Spring Boot, having worked on JPA, right?
Yes.
So in JPA, how you will be performing, like if I need to roll back my data due to some transaction failure, I need to roll back the data. So what are the steps I need to follow in JPA through which I can roll back? Or will it impact the data which is committed? It will be partial rollback, or it is fully rollback?
Yeah, and just so as you know that like transactional annotation is which perform the transaction in Spring Boot. So Spring AOP intercept will be it will be it uses the AOP proxies, so it will be intercept that particular methods, and it will begin the transaction, then execute the transaction, then commit the transactions, right? And by default if you are using, by default it uses the runtime exceptions. Okay. If you have a checked exception, then you have to specify in the parameters at the transaction parameter. In the parameter we have to pass the rollback for what exception, checked exception you want to give in. If you give that any check exception, that will be used. So by default it uses the runtime exception only, transactional.
Okay. What do you mean by the pessimistic locking?
Pessimistic and optimistic locking, it's kind of lock. if you have like rare kind of scenario, like where we can use that data. So there is a pessimistic log, that means where we are using the in the query level, where we pass the log type dot pessimistic, then it will be used the query level. And if pessimist optimistic log, that means it will update the version according to that. Yeah.
Okay, and what happened during the concurrent update?
If we use the pessimistic locking, if the user trying to book the seat, kind of, right, so two user cannot book the seat. Like we have any kind of cinema and any kind of theater, so like there is two user and they wants to book the same seat at the same time. So if we don't use the pessimistic lock or any kind of lock, there will be inconsistency, result will be there. So to overcome this issue, we can use the pessimistic lock, where we can define the lock type is the block type is called pessimistic. So one user book that seat at a time. So another user will be wait for that scenario.
Okay, and what is the isolation level JPA supports?
JPA supports, there is a isolation propagation level, right, or isolation level. You want to
Only isolation levels.
So in the database there is isolation level, right?
Yes.
But in the Spring Boot we have a propagation type, where we defining the requires new, remove, detached. These are the propagation types will be there. And in the database we have a isolation level, repeated read. So by default SQL supports repeatable read. So yep. So we have a read uncommit, read committed, repeatable read initializations, right? So to restrict the user to make sure not that any conflict will be there. So where we use that is strictly isolation level. Yeah, in the Spring Boot side we have a propagation level. So by default it uses the required only.
Okay. How do you what is the difference between disable first level and disable second level?
This is a hibernate concept, right?
Yes.
Enable caching, you are saying, or
Yes.
this is the first level caching. That means by default hibernate uses it's a session specific. But if you want to use that second level cache, then you have to implement that using cacheable annotation and all. So there is not a session specific. That is so by default hibernate uses that first level cache only.
Okay. And in Spring Boot, how you will be performing the suppose if I need to there is a failing mechanism, and if my application is running slow in a Spring Boot application, so how I can identify the analyze the logs in a Spring Boot. Is there any feature available through which I can check the logs and validate the output? Validate the errors, like what errors or what exceptions occurred on the cloud environment.
So basically we are using Splunk, we identify using that like correlation ID or deal ID, we can find the logs where it is happening and what is the time duration for that like any exception occurred. So we just go to that Splunk and we use that particular correlation ID or deal ID. So using that we can filter it out when it has happened, like exception happened and all. So during that time period we can find that, so what is the step for that, why it is happened, which method called and all. So using that Splunk we can also use that, and Elastic APM also.
Okay, and moving further, can you please tell me in microservices based architecture how the data consistency is maintained?
Yeah, so we are using asynchronous communications of Apache Kafka. So in the Apache Kafka, it stores the messages. Okay, it has also a disk, RAM, and all. So it can store the messages. Your message will be not lost if anything consumer side, if anything goes wrong. So there will be that will be used for that. Like it will be so message will be durable in that case. It will be not.
Okay.
So we have a offset ID, we have a last offset ID. So like, suppose if consumer is down and consumer is not able to consume that messages, consumer is something goes wrong, and then when consumer up, then it start the process the message for the last committed offset ID. Yeah, so that's how we can store that. It's a
Okay. In microservices based application, how the cascading cascading errors handled in the Spring Boot. Suppose exceptions are generated from the microservices Spring Boot application from particular service. Suppose A is using B service, B is using C service, and B is generated some exception, and that will be resolved by half an hour. But during that time, the service is unavailable, and during that duration, the service A and service C, what will be how they will be managing the application and how you resolve these issues.
So this is the like cascading failures, right? Right. If one microservices is communicating to second microservices using that, and then that is a second microservice is down at the time, there will be a we have to that is a cascading failure. It is not going to send the messages for the down microservices, right? So change the request for that. So at the time we can use the retry mechanism, or like we have a circuit breaker pattern, so where we can implement the circuit breaker pattern. We have also implemented that using the circuit breaker like a retrieval annotation, where we pass the fallback methods, and it has also open state, closed state, and half open state. That means closed state, that means it is a normal state, and open state, that means circuit something goes wrong. So if threshold is full, then it will be it will throw an exception, that means it will call the fallback methods at the time.
Okay. And in a Spring Boot application, how you can configure the auto circuit design pattern?
A circuit design pattern.
Circuit breaker design pattern.
So there is a one there is a one dependency we need to add for that. I'm sure what is that. There is a resilience 4J, I think so. We have to add the design pattern, that's the dependency, we have to add that, and then we can use that, and we can configure that, and we can implement that logic according to that.
Okay. Have you worked on containerization based development?
Containerization based deployment. So we are using the OCP, rolling deployment, basically Kubernetes and Docker we are using. So when we are pushing the PR, then it will be go to that GitHub, inside the GitHub. In the GitHub we have a GitHub actions, so it will first check all the things, like it's a Sonar cube and test coverage is passing or not. So everything goes well, then it will trigger the image. Then with that image we are just deploying our applications using harness tools. So yeah, that's it. OCP rolling deployment we are doing in this project.
Okay. And suppose if you need to auto scale your application, so what is the difference between horizontal and vertical auto scaling, and which scaling you will prefer first for auto configuration?
So I prefer horizontal scale, not vertical scale. That means if we have we will not add that like vertical scale. That means like horizontal scale. That means we are adding the more server, not like we are increasing the CPU and RAM and all. So we have to use that. We are just according to the requirement we can use that. So based we like use that horizontal scaling in that case.
Okay.
Vertical scaling, increasing the resources of existing server and ports. Yeah.
Have you worked on the NoSQL database?
No, I have knowledge, but I haven't worked on. I have basically worked on MySQL database.
Okay.
MySQL I'm using. Yeah.
So in MySQL, how you will be apply the non-cluster index in your application? Suppose if your the data you are fetching is very slow. And for that you have to create the indexes. So what is the limitation, like what do you mean by non-cluster index?
So indexing is like we have a large data, right, in the tables, and then we are not going to if we have millions of data, right, and then we are not going to fetch the, or if you are fetching 1 million data in the last row, so it will just search the query one by one, so there will be a performance will be down. So in that case we'll just use that index. So index will be helps to for the searching will be fast in that case. Like we have a dictionary, and then in dictionary we have like some kind of things like we can directly go and check that, because SQL database disk is disk is not, this is costly to fetch that. So we use the indexing in that scenario to perform the optimizations performance. And I think non-cluster, you are saying non-cluster, that means actually database table remains a separate index stores in the index columns and pointed to the actual row, like that.
Okay. Can you please write a query for suppose if I need to find the third highest employee in the table, which have the third highest salary of the employee.
Okay.
So how you can write the query in the MySQL?
Okay. So here I need to write or any?
You can write on here only, or you can use Notepad. It's not for the execution purpose.
So I can use the, should I use that limit offset?
Yes, you can use it.
Yeah. Okay. Just let me select. Right. Third highest salary you are talking about, right?
Yes.
Distinct salary from employee table, where order by salary will be descending, where we can limit is that one, and we are getting the one red row, and offset will be 2. After second row it will fetch the data. Yeah, that's how we can do that.
Okay, so what do you mean by the offset?
Offset, it will just remove that. It will not take second data, first row and second row. It will just directly. It will just skip 2 rows, right? Then it will get the data. We have a limit 1. Then 1 row we will be getting at the time.
Okay. Do you know data structure and algorithm?
Yes, I know.
Okay, so in data structure and algorithm, can you please tell me, have you worked on graph and tree?
No, I haven't worked on graph and tree, but basically data structure part I worked on hash map, like concurrent hash map and hash set, hash table.
Okay, so how you will be perform the search operation? Like if I need to perform the searching on large data set, so which algorithm is best in data structure
search will be best.
Data structure.
Binary search will be best in that case.
Binary search, okay. And what is the like how you can apply the binary search?
So binary search is just, we are just taking that half, we are dividing the half, and then we are checking if it is a greater, then we'll go to the left. If our search element is a greater than, or then we will go, we increase the left. So basically we are dividing our object, our like list to that 2 parts. If it is increasing, then we'll just drink. If it is increasing, then we'll just if it is like greater than, then it will increasing. If less than, we are decreasing that kind of things.
Okay, and what do you mean by the hashing technique?
Hashing technique, that means in the hashing technique. So in hash map we have we are like overriding the hash code and equals method, right? So key, like that means we have a key, right, in hash map. So key gets converted to the hash code. Hash code determine the bucket for that bucket or location, you can say, index locations, and data gets sorted in that buckets, like that. So to avoid so we are using the hash code and equals method is the contract in hash map. So it's a hashing technique.
Okay. Okay, if I ask you to write a logic to traverse in a linked list, so can you please tell me how we can traverse in the linked list?
Traverse, that means like.
Suppose if I need to search an element in the linked list, so sort an element in a linked list, so how you can write a logic for it?
So what I will do, so in that, so linked list is a like which we create on class node class, and a linked list traversal means visiting each node sequentially from head to tail, right? We have a head parts, we have a head and tails in the linked list. We have a previous it is stored the address for that next data, and if next data is if next data will not point into anything, so there will be null, right? It will be assigned to null, so that means it is a tail. Okay, head, that means it's pointed to any kind of elements, there will be a head. So each node contains data and next pointer also, so we can, if you want to traversal, then we can use that that means if we have a we can assign that head is equal to temp, and then we'll just check the condition. If temp not null, then we are increasing the temp dot next, that means element we are moving to that pointer to the next.
Okay.
Yeah. And we
Okay,
are
I'm done from my side. Do you have any question at your end?